Day 3 of hashtag Vita. Probably should say that, or probably shouldn't have to say that every video, but I'm probably going to anyway. So, day 3. The humans still think I'm one of them. Yeah, that was a terrible introduction. But I'm gonna keep it because I don't like redoing and I don't like having to edit because I don't know how. So being that this is a vlog, I feel like there should be at least a couple of videos where I actually sit and I actually talk to you. So I was trying to think of ideas of things that I should actually talk about, and one of the things that I seem to have as a recurring question in my live streams, because believe it or not, I actually find live streams to be a lot easier to do than to record a video, because to pre-record a video means you have to script it. Not really script it, but you have to have it somewhat pre-planned out in your head, like, this is what I want to say, this is what I want to touch on, this is kind of what I want to do. And I feel like even though this is a vlog, this is also me learning how to vlog, so I feel like I should also talk a little bit about the experience of learning how to vlog and how to create content for viewers and how to branch out and better yourself and become better at doing it, because it really is an art. It really is. I don't even know how some people do this so often. But getting back to the root question, one of the most common things I'm asked on my live stream is, how do you do it? How do you keep putting so much energy? How are you so alive every day? I have no idea how I'm always so positive. Don't ask me, because believe me, sometimes I'm negative. It's just very rare and it's very difficult to get me to that point. But it does happen. So why do I do it? The reason I got into vlogging and even live streaming, for me, I always wanted to do something. Like growing up, don't ever tell anybody this, because if you do, I'm gonna promise you plausible deniability is going to be my number one thing, the number one thing on my agenda. Wait, I don't know where they got that from. That doesn't sound like something I'd say. You can't show them this video as proof either. Don't act like you can't, because you can't. Okay, you probably could, but So growing up, I always wanted to be on like Disney. When I was a younger kid, I saw the stars on Disney. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be able to go up. I want to be more confident. I want to be able to go and be crazy and talk to people and be able to, like, I want to do that. I want to do what all of those actors do. Like, I used to look up to, like, The Suite Life of Zack and Cody. I used to look up to them like, oh my god, I want to be able to do that. Like I said, I will deny this if you ever tell anybody this. Any of you. Specifically you. I know you have a big mouth. I know you do. Everybody knows you have a big mouth. But because of that, I never got to get into it. For one reason or another, I was shy, I was self-conscious. I never got to actually get into it and to branch out and become more confident as a person. And to pretend to be confident is to gain confidence. A lot of people don't realize that the phrase fake it to make it actually works. I learned that in the military very quickly, that in order to be able to do something, you have to pretend that you know how to do it. And when you learn how to effectively pretend that you know what you're doing, you start to believe it. You start to believe the lie. I'm not really incompetent because I know I'm competent, and if I think I'm confident, I must be competent. Either way, tomato, tomato. If you're competent, you're confident. If you're confident, you're... Okay, maybe you're not competent. But they could go both ways. It depends. I don't know. So, I used to be very low self-esteem, very low confidence. The military kind of built that up, but it also kind of didn't. It really depends on the person. Some people it takes more. Some people it takes figuring out your own thing to get into it. And then, I found Troye Sivan. For me, Troye Sivan is probably the hugest influence as to why I got into YouTube, why I got into live streaming, and why I wanted to talk to people. And really, that's all it was. I just wanted to talk to people. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to create new groups. I wanted to bring groups together. I enjoyed the interaction and getting to know people and getting to hear about people's stories. That's why I love watching KK's videos on KK Vlogs. He's a good friend of mine and he is a really good vlogger. And I've already started meeting new people just by starting Vita. It is day 3 and I've met another person who does hashtag Vita. Well, I haven't met them, but I've kind of... They reached out to me and I find that interesting that something like this can bring people together, and it's amazing. That's why I do this. And the other, I know I've kind of trailed off from the original topic, which was why do I do this? It's legitimately just to bring people together, to talk to people, to get to know people, and for me it makes me feel a little less lonely when I can talk to people. And it was even better because once I started live streaming after I found Troye Sivan and got the inspiration to do it, I uploaded my first video. And once I uploaded my first video to YouTube, this is another YouTube, I only have 2 videos on there, don't worry about it, they're not that great. I still have those videos, but they're not meant for the internet. They're just not, because they needed a little bit more, and I didn't put in the time to make them better. But after I watched Troye Sivan in the Blue Neighborhood, I was like, oh my god, I don't know how he did. He went from being a YouTuber to a singer to basically a video producer, creating a 3-part video and making music. And he did it all because he really enjoyed the viewers and he really enjoyed making them happy and doing something that everybody could enjoy. And I aspired to do something similar to that. So to be honest with you, Troye Sivan is probably one of the sole reasons that I was inspired to get into video making, to say, if he can do it, maybe I could do it, maybe I could do it. And so I decided to try. So then I was talking to my friend about it and I was like, I really want to do that. And I was like, I know you do YouTube, like, what do I do? How do you get into it? Because I was so scared. I was very timid. I was so worried about rejection. And then my friend was like, well, maybe you should start out doing live streams. I know a website that I do it on, and you should definitely try it there. And I was like, Keta run that by me again? And he did. And it ended up changing my life. I have grown so much. I've been live streaming since December 13 of 2015, and being that it's 2016, it's been about 7.5 to 8 months, and it's already been probably one of the greatest things I ever did for myself. I became more confident. A lot of my social anxieties have all but abated and basically don't even really exist anymore. I used to be worried just to go into a crowded store, and now I'll walk in and I'll be like, but I used to be the kind of guy where I used to worry. I used to wonder, how can you go about your life and not be worried about, I want to say what other people think, but that's not exactly what it was like. For those of you who have ever had social anxieties, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what I mean. Your heart will start racing, you can't hear what people are saying when they're talking to you, and even if you do hear them, it doesn't make sense in your head, because for some reason your body's so distracted with other stimulus that you don't know what's going on. And it can be very overwhelming, and that's why I relate to people who are like that, and why I understand when they say, I just need somebody to talk to, because sometimes that's all you need, is somebody just to listen and to talk to and talk you down from your anxiety, and then it goes away. And then you learn how to combat it yourself. You find proactive means, like, I don't know, something that makes you feel more confident when you're feeling less confident. I don't know, like maybe it's a hairstyle, maybe it's a nice outfit. It could be anything. For some people, it's just finding that group and talking with those friends that make them feel better. This video is already longer than I was expecting it to be. But that's okay for me. I don't mind that, as long as it doesn't get to be too long. I'm not trying to overwhelm you every single day with 30-minute vlogs. I'll do that when people start asking for more, if that ever happens. But that's okay, that's beside the point. That's why I live stream for hours on end anyway. Anyway, then I can get the social contact I need. So, that was one of the main reasons that I got into vlogging. But since starting vlogging, or not vlogging, I'm sorry, live streaming, I found that something that I never understood. For me, when I go to sleep or when I feel lonely, watching videos and listening to people talk doesn't help me. It doesn't do anything for me. Only talking to somebody who reacts and responds to what I'm saying and speaks back to me can make me feel better. But what I found on live streams is that for a lot of people, it's the exact opposite. For them, they need, if they can't sleep, if they're, I don't know, if they have insomnia, or if they can't sleep for whatever reason, or if they're lonely or bored, a lot of times just listening to somebody else talk, or I don't know, do funny voices. Like, I do a lot of funny voices and a lot of funny accents on my broadcasts, if you ever come by it. But this isn't to promote my broadcast. In fact, this is separate from my broadcasts. I've found that for them it's just comforting to listen to somebody else, and it makes me happy to know that I can be that person. Whether I'm just reading a book out loud, which sometimes I do, it makes them happy, and that means something to me because I like making a difference, and I like making other people feel more comfortable, less anxious, and just, I like creating webs, so to speak. When it comes to people, I enjoy branching out and meeting numerous different types of people, different backgrounds. I talk to people from all over the world. I have friends in China, friends in Russia, friends in Germany, friends in the UK, friends in Canada, friends in Mexico, friends in Japan, Korea. I have friends in a lot of different countries, and they're all amazing. A lot of people don't enjoy crossing the language barrier, which tends to be a reason why they don't talk to other people from other countries. But it's so much fun to see their response. Even just living here in Japan with the United States Air Force, I've already found that even just trying to say a word in a native language, they respond so incredibly pleasantly to you. I mean, you could honestly just say, konnichiwa, o genki desu ka? And even if you hesitate, like, konnichiwa, they'll help you along. Like, I've met so many people here where if I don't know a word, I'll be like, kini shinai de, which basically means never mind, and they help you through it. If you can't entirely remember the word, they'll be like, kini shinai de, kini shinai de, and they'll help you learn it. And it's really incredible that people in other nations do that. I'm not saying you don't see this in America, because you will see it in America. I do enjoy my home, but I also enjoy meeting people of other places. But that's one of the top few reasons of why I got into vlogging and broadcasting. I'm gonna stop it right about here, and I'm gonna do some more thinking. I hope y'all don't mind. Alright, so upon further consideration, I've decided that this video has already gotten to the point where it's getting to be a bit too long. So for my first few videos, I'd like to keep it short and succinct. No more than 15 minutes. Well, no, somewhere in between 15 to 20 minutes at the most. So I wanted to touch on a couple of things. A, if you have any suggestions or something that you would like to see in a future video, please let me know. Don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily hurting for ideas, but it doesn't hurt to have some ideas from people who tell you what they would like to see. At some point, I will probably have an introduction video to talk a little bit about me, why I'm getting into vlogging, but for the most part, I think I covered a big portion of why I'm vlogging. I'll also talk a little bit about where I came from, stuff like that. But I'd like to save that for a future video, when I feel like people actually are like, okay, so this is who you are, now I want to know more about you, instead of being like, hi internet, this is me, get to know me, I'm going to tell you all about me, and then you being like, why should I care? I feel like you should get to know a person before you really get to know a person. Like, you don't just walk up to random people and say, hey, what was your childhood like? No, because that's just weird. You don't ask someone what their childhood was like. You don't usually ask, you know, how many siblings someone had, or whether they still talk to their parents. You usually don't ask these questions, or even learn these things about people, unless well, unless you've become friends with them or have kind of made a mutual connection with that person. So it'll probably be a little bit before I get into doing any kind of an introduction video. So suggestions are welcome, as well as criticisms. Also, there will probably be times when I will only upload 5-minute videos. I hope that's okay. In fact, it's probably better for some people. But I have... The reason I got into YouTubing was because a lot of... On the live streams, you used to be able to re-watch broadcasts. And a lot of people enjoy being able to do that because when they don't have anything to do, they like to be able to, well, watch the people that they've gotten to know. Because when you watch a broadcast, you get to know the broadcaster. You get to know, you're like, I like that broadcaster. And you come back, and you come back again, and you come back again. And they remember you. I remember so many people that come through my broadcasts, and it's amazing all of the people that I've gotten to meet and become close with. I've met my best friends in probably my entire life from doing live streams. And I've become the most confident and come up with the most amazing ways that I can better myself as a person just from doing live streams. And I hope that YouTube can create or can help me get even better and reach the next level, because every time you get better, it's like a cycle. You get a lot better and you don't even realize that you could have improved as much as you did, but then you do. So that's another thing. And I believe that's just about it, but I will give you the basics. My name is Caleb. I don't really go by Caleb though. On my live streams I go by Cable. Some people call me Calendar because apparently my name gets auto-corrected to Calendar for a lot of people. It's probably actually my favorite nickname. And I also go by Squirrel. There are a few others that a lot of people have come up with. You can call me whatever you want. It really doesn't bother me. But if you call me Calendar or Two, I will tell you Two is one of my favorites. I don't hear that one very often. But let's just stick with Calendar or Cable for now. I'm 22. I live in Okinawa, Japan, which is the most amazing place that I ever thought I would be able to call home, if not for a very short period of time. 4 years is quite a long time, but relatively speaking, in your entire life, 4 years is not that much. But the fact that I've ever even been able to call Okinawa, Japan my home is quite frankly amazing, and I'm quite happy to have been able to do that. I've gotten to travel so much more than I ever thought I would, just by having joined the military. I am not currently going to college. Eventually I will. I'd like to be a major in linguistics and maybe one day physics as well. But that's beside the point. Linguistics is more fun anyway. Ugh. I turned 22 in like 2 days. Oh my jeez, I'm so old! Or so I keep saying to my 27-year-old friends, just to make them be like, shut up, you're 22. Like, seriously? 22, you're old? Yeah, it cracks them up. I don't know why, but it does. Also, I call Georgia home because Georgia is where I was born. And, well, not where I was born, sorry. I was actually born in North Carolina. But Georgia is where I was raised most of my childhood. And it's probably my favorite place in the States. If ever there's a place I'd like to settle down in, it would probably be somewhere in Georgia. Maybe Savannah. Bless for another time. So, I hope this vlog wasn't too long for y'all. If it was, your next suggestion or critique could be, please make future vlogs shorter, or vlog was too long. What's the acronym? TLDR, too long, didn't read. If you post that, I promise you I won't get mad at you because I think it was too long. And honestly, I wasn't even thinking I would break 5 minutes before I even started before I started recording this. Wow. So I hope to see you for #Vita Day 4, and yeah.